Hello, nerds, and welcome back to our beautiful island spawn on the island of Nerdy Town. Today's episode is actually going to be primarily involving our secondary island of Ullitopia because it is time for us to build up some industry over here and get access to beer on the main island here. To remind everyone where we were, we have, of course, our farmer and worker island area. We have a beautiful area where we're going to eventually build this up to artisans and have all of the buildings over here. A long aisle that's going to go all the way across the island, as well as an industrial sector over here. While I'm here, actually, I realized I need to fix this issue. I was corrected on some of my math, so thank you for doing that. But the furnace here produces 3 steel every 90 seconds. And 1 steelworks will consume 2 of these, and the weapons factory will consume 1, which means you're kind of out. Now, we do have a huge stockpile of things like steel, because of course we're overproducing. Explosion! Oh my goodness. Oh, wow.
A fire broke out.
Oh god, that's a great start. All right, anyways, my fire managed to take care of that. Actually, I have another one over here. So let me just build a quick road and mobilize those guys as well to take care of that fire. That's was not part of the plan today. Anyways, I'll just go ahead and fix up this problem that we have here, because this furnace will be able to support 1 steelworks and 1 weapons factory each. So a system like this, where this furnace supplies these 2 buildings and this one supplies these 2 buildings, will be everything that we'll need here. This also just frees up a little bit of room for us. So I'm going to shift this warehouse back to keep this all streamlined, as well as maybe actually just throw down another warehouse here, because we'll need it eventually, sooner or later. And I'll leave this as is for now. We will need plenty of guns. I could actually build out this as well. And honestly, just to get a huge stockpile of weapons, I'll start doing that. That's going to affect our attractiveness of our island, but I'm getting away from myself. This is kind of an optional thing I wanted to deal with today. Today, the goal is going to be all surrounding Ullitopia. So I have a bunch of construction materials that we've brought over here. So things like bricks.
Ruins behind.
Yeah, ruins. Okay, gotcha. All right, fix that up.
Nice day for.
And this almost burned to the ground, but it was okay. So yeah, we were able to deal with that fire quickly enough as is. I'm going to be dropping in some of these materials for construction. This island does not have any clay. So it'll need to import all of its bricks to be able to produce anything in terms of the worker tier of buildings. Now, our primary goal for this island will be farming for things like hops and red pepper. But of course, we do have an abundance of iron and coal, as well as copper over here. So I will want to look into that. To start off, I'm actually going to go ahead and increase upgrade the trading post on this island. This actually will increase the amount of loading ramps on the harbor, but also it increases our storage by another 75, which allows us to add even more wooden, up to 150. And because I have some brick available to me, I can also just quickly go ahead and throw down a quick little depot,
New orders?
getting us a little bit more room. And that actually means that we can have up to 200 items of island storage on this island, which is freaking fantastic. I'll also drop in the work clothes and the schnapps, which will be how we start our population here. We're actually back to a negative balance already, so we'll have to start making money again. But then the USS Lithuanian will be in charge of trading between these 2 islands, specifically providing things like brick and schnapps to this island to be able to support this population. That's all we're going to need for now. And I'll keep the USS Nerdy to go ahead and escort that. I will need a couple of extra gunboats. So while we're here, produce 2 more gunboats. That'll help defend the Lithuanian, which will free up the USS Nerdy. Now that we actually have some base clothing, we can actually build out Nerdy Town very quickly. And I'm just going to continue on our same block system just to get the island set up. I might play around with different building ideas. Feel free to share with me below how you like building your towns, by the way, because I am interested in learning new ways to build. We also have probably a place in the Discord where you can show your Anno screenshots. That would be a fantastic place for us to share different building ideas. But for now, let's just do something like this. Getting a base workforce started. There we are. So you can see here we do need clothes and we already need schnapps, so that's why I brought some right off the bat. I will need to actually start producing clothes on this island. So I'll do the same exact thing where we set up our neat little... I could actually probably build stamps for these types of buildings. But for now, this is just fine as well. I'll even put a warehouse here for this. And this will get a little bit of a clothing supply for Ullitopia. There's actually a lot of pirate boats that are sailing through the waters, so I'll need to keep an eye on these guys. Especially because of things like our boats here. Looks like they may actually sail into them. Remember, the Arthur and Alonso are currently at war, so we might be hearing some gunboats blasting for a little while. There's actually a lot of boats that are trying to offload in Nerdy Town. I'm actually going to upgrade the harbor here as well, just because that actually increases our island storage. That'll help us build up some more supplies as well, which would be just good for us. Obviously, I can upgrade to artisans right now if I wanted to, but I'm the type of player that takes things one at a time. Especially when it comes to YouTube editing, it just really makes things a little bit easier when you have like a theme when it comes to your videos. So we'll be leaving artisans probably for a next video or even the end of this video. We have another newspaper, Rivals Island Under Siege. Yeah, the Alonso is freaking ridiculous. Happiness and light, Nerdy Town is quite full of mirth. This is nothing but good. And competitors settle new islands. There's no bad news here, so I'll just let this publish.
It's important to be true to oneself.
Yeah, you have said that before. Ooh, okay, yeah. I'm glad I escorted Mr. Lithuanian here because there are already pirate boats here. And Nerdy Town is going to, or USS Nerdy is going to take care of these. I might actually go ahead and hunt down the other one just so I don't have to deal with him later. Beautiful. Sure, Alonso. That's... Ooh, who do we get? Affects all churches. 10% range. That's not bad. All right. Nerdy's going to go ahead and kill that boat. You now have an escort. That's fantastic. I'm not too worried about the boats that have to go between my two islands here. I am definitely worried about the boats that have to go all the way out here towards the pirates, though, for sure. There's going to be a bunch of jumping around in the different islands. I'll try to keep the video less edited for the sake of just being able to watch and see what's going on, too. But we have a call here. I'm going to have basically 2 bridges on this island. I'll just get these blocked out because I know we're going to have a bunch of farms around this river here for Ullitopia, but also a bridge over to the coal over here, and maybe even an industrial sector with this iron over here so that Ullitopia can produce its own steel. Fantastic. Nerdy has killed another pirate boat. And there's also some more quests we could start setting up. Oh, we got another person. Affects all mines and cement. Productivity 20%. Sweet. I'll send these 2 specialists back home. And I'll figure out where we can utilize these the best. Affecting mines will be nice. And affecting a church... that actually would be really nice to have a trade union affecting our church here. I don't know where we would put this trade union in order to affect that. But I know having a trade union up here for Nerdy Town, for these mines, should be relatively easier to affect. Now, this is an iron deposit. Yeah, that actually would help out iron production quite substantially. So I'm just going to place this here for now. And we'll send this guy back home. Now, another thing I want to do today while we're building up Ullitopia will be settling this other island over here. Now, this island is not claimed yet. Sweet, we have another gunboat. Send you to escort. And now all of my trade ships do have gunboat escorts, which is nice. I'll produce another schooner. Oh, I need to name these guys. I almost completely forgot, so... Hello to... the Zimian. Sorry if I butcher anyone's names, by the way, but welcome in. As well as Dwayne. You guys have been leaving actually very helpful feedback for me when it comes to getting more familiarized with Anno as a whole. So you guys are now gunboats defending some of our very important trade ships. So thank you so much for that. Now, Nerdy will be dropping off these to Specialist, but also we'll be picking up some some timber and some steel, because I want to go settle this island over here. We don't need to build up this third island. I just want to be able to claim it because this is the only island that will have access to both zinc and copper, which will be very important for us for getting things like brass up later. You'll see we have limestone in Nerdy Town, and we have just copper in Ullitopia. So just claiming these 3 islands should get us in a pretty good place for all the resources we'll need later on in the game. All right, back over to Ullitopia. We now have a source of fish, schnapps, work clothes. I actually do need to set up a pub here, so we'll just go ahead and quickly throw this down. Same general idea, making all of our farmers nice and happy. That actually finishes all of our farmer demands. I will, of course, need to have a firehouse on this island, though, just to make sure that no more big fires happen, right? But at this point, especially with the shipment of schnapps coming in, which, by the way, I need to make sure I set some minimums stockpiles on these islands. So we have one for schnapps. But also brick, I need to set a minimum for, so I don't ship that too far away. The USS Nerdy has settled to this island. And I'm just going to go ahead and quickly throw down this trading post. On this cute little bay. This will be another fun island for us. Let's see, we got copper, limestone, iron, zinc, iron, and coal, as well as a beautiful river with a waterfall, as well as another port over this way. This will be a very fantastic island. And this, we're gonna name after the top comment of our second video in this series, which was actually by the fabulous Van Bradley. So we're gonna be naming this the Bradsburg after you, buddy. This will be a very fantastic island for you to have. I'm not going to touch anything more on this island, actually. We'll leave it as is. And I'll be sending the USS Nerdy to go ahead and start doing some more quests for some of our neighbors.
Make fresh roses slither from this manure.
Oh my god, I hate this guy. He delivered a request, giving me a TNT bomb, allowing me to self-destruct my boat. Oh, that actually ruins our reputation with Bente too. Yeah, nah, bud. I'm not going to do that for you.
This proposal expects
now, I do want to go ahead and start building out.
Is under siege.
Oh my god, New Rome? You named this island New Rome? Oh gosh. That ship alignment actually gets sunk though. I know that's a really big cannon. But looks like this island's doing more damage to the boat than the boat is to him. That ship is probably gonna have to leave. Get 2 more gunboats for this trade ship here. Oh, this will be the resurrected USS Emberlight. Welcome in. Look, you're back. For those that know, Zoltron, Emberlight, same person. We'll give you a new name to reflect your new form. And there we are. Arthur here has a quest. Bath time is a time of reflection for me. I watch his ideas evolve in the sparkle of the water, glimpsing beauty in the mirrors and mosaic tiles. To hear music then could only highlight the sweetness of my self-absorption, as if my genius were resonating with a gently strummed lyre of Apollo himself. This is an escort quest, 5 reputation, 8,000 coins. I'll take it. Actually, it requires me to come up this way towards Eli and the rest of them. So let's go ahead and try this out. Mount Canina has a quest as well, a delivery quest, and she wants to come here. We'll send your Nerdy up this way for now, and we'll see what we get. Now, back over in Ullitopia, our population has grown substantially. All these houses now have 10 farmers each. We have plenty of goods for now. So, as we said, the workers have no need for brick industry on this island. We will need things like sausages pretty quickly once the moment we get to workers. But for now, our primary goal is just beer. And you'll see the hop farmer course requires farmers, not workers. So we'll just get started by producing some hop farms up here. Now, I'll start this off in blueprint mode, of course. But I want to do a little bit of beauty work around this little bend around the river, of course. I want to do one of those similar ideas where I put the farm houses inside of the hop farms themselves. Just because I love that. Now, I'll talk about how many hop farms you need for the supply chains here later on. But for now, we're just going to get started with some of this production of some of these hop farms. And this even has room for us to expand over this direction later on. But for now, this looks absolutely fantastic to me. Nerdy has, of course, collected an item. Dude, this war is getting really annoying. But I'm going to come over here to the Bathurst for this escort quest. Now, there's still pirates roaming around. And I really want some gunboats just to go ahead and really focus on, like, hunting down some of these boats. But Ullitopia now producing hops for us. So what I can do, I should start probably naming some of these trade routes with an actual system. So I'm going to name our Wolfman trade route. We'll do OW for Old World. And name this as a potato export. Because that's what we're doing with this trade route, is we're just selling potatoes to Eli. Now, this one we'll also name as Old World. And then this is a coal and soap export. Because all we're doing is selling resources with these two trade routes for now. Now, this one will be a little bit different, held by the Lithuanian, but this will be Old World and then Ulli supplies, because we are supplying resources to Ullitopia. Now, the Ulli supplies could easily drop off the brick and the schnapps at Ullitopia, and then here we could pick up things like hops and then bring the hops back, just like this. Now, the problem with this is that what's happening with your boats is, say we end up at a point where the Ulli supply ends up picking up so many bricks and so much schnapps that is being overproduced over in Nerdy Town. And if they go to deliver to this island, but the storage over here is full as well too, the items will be left in this ship. If there's too many items left in the ship, then you'll end up in a situation when they can't pick up the hops from this island to bring back over to here. There's a couple of solutions I found work well for this type of situation. One of them is, say, if you have a third stop where you can go ahead and go over to Archipelago here and sell the rest of the bricks before coming back. The other situation is just have two different ships, where you have one ship that is sending supplies to Ullitopia, and another ship that is sending supplies from Ullitopia back. So this ship will be just in charge of loading as many hops as possible and bringing it back to Nerdy Town. We'll even get our two gunboats to escort, and we can even name these guys the USS Godlove. And I might as well name this, we don't actually even have USS Ulli yet. So there we are. We have gunboats, and we are now shipping hops back home. Nerdy's going to go ahead and do this quest. There's actually two different ships here I need to defend. So it might have been nice for me to actually get some additional ships here. I'm going to come back. I'm going to be able to build frigates here shortly. But for the meantime, what I want to focus on is getting the rest of this beer industry set up. Now, as Ullitopia will start building up its hop supply and bringing it back over to Nerdy Town, we can then produce the beer over here. And the reason why I want to produce it at Nerdy Town is because I need both hops and wheat fertility to be able to produce both of these items to combine into beer. Now, Ullitopia doesn't have wheat, of course. They just have hops. And Nerdy Town doesn't have hops. They just have wheat. But as long as we're shipping the hops base form here, we'll be able to do fantastic. I'll be able to put our breweries in, too. And I think we'll have a nice little industrial sector. Another job sector down here towards the bottom of our town. I want to keep this area open because I'm going to have a bunch of different things when it comes to... I have to keep in mind things like oil production, which is something that is actually relatively new to me. But I do know my oil will have to be shipped via train over this direction, and actually preferably through our central aisle, over all the way over to our main industrial sector over here as well for things like oil power plants. So I'll try to keep some room over here. Specifically, like this little aisle will be a railroad, hopefully. But we'll be able to have a bunch of production this way. All right, cool. Oh, you know what? Brewery should be actually up this direction. Now, in order to produce beer, we actually need to have a bunch more grain farms. You'll see here, you need one grain farm producing one grain every minute. This can be processed by the malt house to create malt. This processes every 30 seconds, meaning you'll need to have 2 farms to supply one malt house. And then when you come from the malt house and combine that with the brewery, your beer is produced every minute. So you'll need 2 breweries for every malt house. Where I want to put my wheat supply will probably still be actually up here towards this part of the cliffside again, and just having a bunch of farms in this entire area. That probably means moving some of my wood supply to a different area. And I want to be able to move all of this together, of course. Let me see if I can just grab this entire thing and scoot it down this direction for now. I might want to move it somewhere more permanent later, but for now, this should do. I just want to make sure that all of my lumberjack huts still produce at 100% efficiency. So we'll do something like this. Just scooting this entire thing over, and we'll start replanting some forests. That should work out just fine for me, and free up some space up this way for more wheat farms. That also puts our breweries kind of near some of our schnapps distilleries, which I freaking love, man. That's actually really nice. So, what I'm thinking is we have... Oh my god, I'm not escorting. Oh, nerdy. No. There's no pirates nearby, are there? Oh my god, there are. Alright, nerdy. Hurry up. Get over there. Fast. Wow, I can't believe I didn't escort them. There's actually a bunch of pirate boats here. I hate that Alonso isn't at war with the pirates. It would really help out, because look at all these ships he has. Anyways, let's build up our beer supply over on our main island. So what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of a road up this direction. I wanted to try to figure out exactly, like, where exactly I could put some roads. We do have this warehouse and probably what's going to be a little bit of a crossroads this direction. So I'll be putting my brewery, which needs a bunch of wheat farms, up towards this northern end of our cliffside, down this direction. So I'm going to start from the back again, and we'll be putting down some breweries. Now these can kind of fit pretty snugly right on over here. People can walk in. Now to supply the breweries, we will need a single malt house. So I'll put this right here on this corner. And then of course we'll need a warehouse to deliver the beer to, but also to pick up hops, right? Because if the hops are getting shipped in to this port here, delivering our first small delivery of hops, they'll be able to pull from this warehouse and then re-deliver here. So in the meantime, I'll also put up a couple of wheat farms. Now I'll want to do a little bit of beauty work here. Maybe. And we have a couple of farmhouses up this way. I just really, really like having my farmhouses. So we'll put a farmhouse here. We'll put a farmhouse here. Both these will supply this malt house. We'll have a little bit of room for these two little farm homes. Like this.
Ship under attack.
Oh, ship under attack. All right, yeah. No, they're doing a good job defending my trade routes. There's actually a lot going on over here in terms of pirates. I'm getting distracted very quickly. But all of my trade ships at least have 2 gunboats, so they're doing just fine. We were able to finish that escort quest. So now I'm going to go ahead and deliver her item up to this island. Fantastic.
Ship under attack.
All right, buddy. As long as I have 2 gunboats, they generally do a pretty good job of defending from their gunboats. Because what will happen is that they'll start getting hit, they'll lose damage, and they'll flee. The pirate gunboats are actually relatively scaredy cats, as long as you do a little bit of damage to them. Alrighty, so back to the beer. So we'll have a couple of wheat farms up here. So let's go ahead, build out the wheat farm like this, like so. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. Maybe actually put wheat behind the malt house as well. That could look really nice, right? Maybe even having the wheat wrap around the brewery is possible, since we have the room. Oh, that's actually lovely, dude. I can do something to make these a little bit more mirrored. Oh, fantastic, dude. Oh my goodness, look at this. Be okay indeed. Gorgeous. Even do a little bit more here. This wheat farm might actually need a little bit more room. And I'm okay with just stealing a little bit of land from this lumber mill to get some of these farmhouses up, as well as the wheat farms themselves. That, of course, is a good amount of workforce demand. The malt house itself is going to require workers. Well, that's fine. We'll get this extra warehouse up and online as well. I can do a little bit of quick little beauty work here, too. And I think, oh yeah, they're breweries, right? So let's go ahead and get some apple orchards here. Fantastic. Oh, we actually need a little bit more farm for this one. So we'll just do this for now. We'll get those wheat farms up and running. Now I'm going to wait to build the breweries until we actually have enough hops to start building out our beer works. Actually, maybe just getting one online, just so that we can actually start satisfying some beer demands, will actually help substantially when it comes to not only their happiness, but also our income supply, because our balance is quite negative. Fantastic. We got 4,000 coins from that deal. Now, Bente's down here. She has a quest, and we're actually nearby, so let's see what this is. She has a gift? Oh my goodness. 13,000 coins. A lack of material wealth should never hold us back from doing great deeds. I want to donate a small amount to help keep you on your feet. Sometimes when we run a little short on funds, we worry about relying too much on others. All I intend with this gift is negate that sort of awkwardness in the future. Dude, yeah, honestly, Bente, that's a mood. Yes, don't be afraid to ask for help, guys. That's what Bente's telling us. Those are good words to live by. And honestly,
The whole business is too much.
if your friend offers you $13,000, you should probably say yes.
Dream of wide blue.
Amazing.
Incomparable.
That's so lovely. Now, we actually do need a little bit more of farmers, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start squeezing in a couple of them where we can, just here in this little area.
I could simply go to press.
And we have a newspaper. Alrighty. What are the news? What are people saying about Nerdy Town? And,
Radiant as ever.
oh, utterly hopeless. Scarcity of beer in Nerdy Town due to a shameful mismanagement. Dude, I literally just built our brewery. That's actually really bad. A needs consumption increased by 10%. Needs consumptions are actually really, really
There's a charitable
upsetting.
cause there. I'm sure of it.
Improved over time. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Bente. Just because it's gonna throw our supply chains all out of whack. Bankruptcy. Nerdy Town's in the red. Dude, it's not that bad. Dude, I'm making money. We're spending money, making money. But town is fireproof. Ooh, getting that fire taken care of so quickly probably helped us out. In Bradsburg, wait, fire likelihood next to not in Bradsburg. Dude, that island has no buildings. All right. Now, I said I didn't want it to edit our newspapers too much because Bente really hates it when you do that, but we're already at a trade alliance. She's already helping us out, and maybe we can even just give her a nice little flatter as well. Oh my goodness, 80 relationship. We'll actually be able to get to alliances here with her pretty soon. But I think in terms of our newspaper, I really don't want to deal with this needs consumption. So I think we're going to edit our very first newspaper. I think what we'll do is we have this consumerism, and this actually costs 55 influence, but it increases our income by 10%.
It can only do them good, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Do it. Invest now, guys. Don't let them discourage you. We will, of course, spend 55 influence to do this.
Of course, you know what's best.
I do know what's best. I have played this game many a time. Not all the way through. Never all the way through, actually. But actually, this gives a influence bonus so that we can actually start earning some of that influence back faster. Newspaper effect, 7%. Interesting. So if we click on our influence, yeah, propaganda, we get a 55
Influence bonus.
newspaper effectiveness, 7% bonus to our newspapers. I don't really know how this works. Let me know how the influence system works if you want to leave it down in a comment below. But our propaganda with 7% newspaper effectiveness, that seems kind of good to us. And then if we look at our population, you see we have a 10% income bonus right here. Fantastic. Also, our beer is coming online, so oh my goodness, was that 1,000 coin? Hell yeah, dude, 75k. We are making money, dude. And also more hops coming online. That's fantastic, man. Fantastic, man. How's Ullitopia doing, by the way? They are very simple today. I kind of got distracted by my own town just a little bit. I'm sorry. But it is what it is. Churches, mines and cement, clay pits, limestone quarry. Ooh. Oh, sweet. So what I can do is I can quickly put up a trade union over here in this general area. This has the potential to affect a variety of different types of buildings, but for now, all we need it is for the digger. Ooh, influence administrator. This will get a 10% production to our clay pit for now, which will be incredibly nice. Maintenance costs, -3%. Optimization's doing really well.
Influence bonus.
Optimization. Wow, okay. They think we're doing very good in terms of optimizing our cities. So that's an incredible compliment. I love that. I'm going to send Nerdy to actually come through and start hunting pirate ships. And then we'll come back up here to Ullitopia. There's a lot I want to do down here. Because I want to start getting a bunch of workers built on this island. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start just increasing our population very quickly by getting a lot more homes up. We'll look at our needs, of course, as we're doing all of this. And yeah, we're good. Because what I want to do is I want to get some of our production buildings up. So we'll have a meat market over here, but also a pig farm. So we'll have a farmhouse here as well as the pig farm nearby. That fits in perfectly right there. Now to work this, I'll need, of course, the actual workers to work it. So I'll start upgrading a couple of these buildings. To be able to work this sausage house. They'll need sausage, but this is literally why they're here, is to get that online. In terms of happiness, they don't need anything yet. So that's just a small little bit. A little bit of workers here to start getting things running will be great.
You try so hard to do good.
I tried hard to do good. I guess it's nice that he likes that we're killing pirates. I guess that pirate didn't drop anything. Here's another pirate ship. We're gonna go after it. Specifically, hunting pirates just for the items that they drop tends to be actually very, very nice. All right, Ullitopia. The next need is going to be bread. So what I want to do... Oh, get him! Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. What does he drop? Rum? Oh my goodness, that's going right back to Nerdy Town. Actually, come after this pirate ship. All right, we're starting to get hops produced pretty decently here. So I'm going to go ahead and immediately start building up our second brewery. That'll be nice for us. And if I take a look at some of our needs consumption, it's actually really important that I keep on top of things like schnapps. Now, Nerdy Town is straight even when it comes to demand and supply, but remember, Nerdy Town has to produce for Ullitopia as well, who also needs another 2 tons of schnapps. Now, the easiest way to examine this is if we actually highlight both of the towns. You could do all islands in this situation, but if you highlight both the towns, just compare the two, you'll see we only can supply 14 of the 16 tons for both of the islands. That means our inventory is going to start going down here really quickly of schnapps. But remember, we're overproducing potatoes. I did this very, very much on purpose because I wanted to sell potatoes early on, but more importantly, as our population grows and our demand grows, I can easily just start scaling our schnapps production without having to worry about placing more potato farms, which is just very convenient. All right, Alonso, shut up. So all I have to do is go ahead and come in here and build a couple more schnapps distilleries right here next to this actual potato supply. Build up both of these. And now you'll notice that we're overproducing schnapps for Nerdy Town, but between Nerdy Town and Ullitopia, we're still overproducing for the amount of schnapps that we need, while still producing way more potatoes that we need so we can keep selling even more. I'm even gonna scoot these guys over just a touch.
A competitor's island withstood an attack.
Yeah. Just because I want to keep on building more of these apple orchards nearby. And these warehouses, I'll build quick little roads for, and then just fill out the rest of these tiles with some more trees. Very nice. Even more apple orchards in this area. Fantastic. Now I need more farmers, and I think what we can do is actually, because I moved this over here, make a little bit more room this way. Now these are going to be workers eventually. I need to figure out where my long-term farmers are going to end up. Probably out towards this area. Maybe we build a whole like farming community out that way. Oh my god, a giant fire. Okay, that's not cool. That's actually kind of freaking far too. So let me build another fire hall. And I'm gonna put this, just for now, we'll throw that down right next to the fire. That way we'll be able to take care of this eventually. Maybe that's why my workforce actually went down for farmers. I still need more clothes and more fish and more bread. Wow, okay. Now I still need more fish, and instead of actually having the fisheries over here, I'm gonna have an industrial area for this. So I'm gonna move the fisheries to the side. And then I'll do something more permanently with these later. But for now, I'll be producing plenty of fish for us. I still need more clothes. Jeez, I'm gonna start skipping. Build even more farmers.
Out of control.
All right, so fire's taking, well, no, it's out of control actually, but what I can do is I can fix up some of these buildings. Yeah. Ooh, our farmer workforce is really dying. This fire is actually really devastating for us right now. That's actually going to reduce our workforce and our supply. Maybe that's why our supplies look so low. This will be an industrial sector later. Maybe something for like sand production. Wow. Oh, wow. This fire is really bad. Please take care of this. Oh my goodness.
The fire left ruins behind.
All right. So the fire should be taken care of. I think I'm going to continue to build out these roads here, even though that's the farmer community. I'm going to build out the roads, make these areas look a little bit, make the roads faster to travel on, specifically for things like the firemen.
The people celebrate your
Oh my
leadership.
goodness, a festival has begun. The fire is over. It's time to party. Where is this festival? A harvest festival. Duration of the festival increases attractiveness by 250, increases happiness by 10, income per household 10%, productivity plus 50%, maintenance cost negative 100% on crop farms. Productivity 50%. Extra goods. Occasionally produces extra rum, champagne, cigars, and chocolate. Wow, that is a really good festival. Man, yeah, no, this is something that happiness is really good for. Now all these guys are super happy. They're having a little bit of a parade. More attractiveness, right? So 430 attractiveness right now. Income increase. But yeah, getting champagne, cigars, rum, and chocolate just passively produced for us right now is incredibly good. As well as dropping off of this rum. That's awesome, dude. Let me see if that workforce fixes itself then. All right, build out a bunch of trees here in this area too. And actually, I need to upgrade a bunch of these warehouses still.
A competitor's island is under siege.
Did they really keep attacking this new Rome? Oh, there's goods here.
On our way.
Hey, drop off the rum. There we go. Still need 100 workforce. Build out a bunch more farmhouses this way. Because for the meantime, I just need to increase our... And increase this farmer workforce here very quickly. There we go. We're back to positive. We'll get some tree lines set up between these houses. These will be workers eventually, so this is only a temporary fix for us. But I want to touch this area here later. Oh, wow. We picked up damage to steel ships. I'm not going to need this item for a little while. I'm gonna come up and try to sell it to Archibald. He also has a delivery quest for us, so if we get him some cigars. Oh, cigars? Maybe we have cigars from that beer festival? We have exactly that much, 15. Crazy. All right, we'll be able to do that. I'm just gonna need more population too. Let me grab those 15 cigars. These are very nice items, but I'm not gonna need them for a while. I would rather just complete the quest for him. We're almost at $100,000. Amazing. Ullitopia can continue to grow.
When you are hungry, really hungry, you'll eat anything.
A photography quest. These are generally pretty easy. It's gonna help our reputation with him. Sure. Sure, what's this? Burning news. Alonso has set your harbor on fire? So that you have some burning news to share in your morning papers? He did what? Photograph the sailing shipyard? Wait. What? No way. He set my shipyard on fire? Bro, that's not cool. What in the world, Alonso?
Never asked you how it felt to be bought.
But, yeah, I feel awful for that one. Dude.
One headline dominates the front pages.
Reports of arson, a strange headline, fire breaks out in the harbor. Dude, how much more of a Disney villain can you be?
None care if we burn.
Oh, I care. I care. Oh my God. I can't believe that just happened. Wow. All right, we need a fire hall down here, apparently. Wow. Wow, Alonso. Wow. That's crazy. I can't believe that just happened. That's insane. Wow. Sheesh, Alonso. That's freaking wild, man. Well, the Harvest
I love the
Festival.
fire service. They help me a lot.
Yeah, but I love the fire service too. Finally.
A competitor's island withstood.
I heard Alonso doesn't care for him for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason could be. Wow, geez, I still can't believe that happened. Anyways, the Harvest Festival is going strong. Everyone is super happy. No one even noticed that harbor was on fire.
You're ready.
Oh, and there we are. We got the cigars are delivered up
I
here.
am quite penetrated by your kindness.
Dude, so penetrated by my kindness. Dude, what is... I love him so much. Oh man, what else can we do over here at Ullitopia anyways? You're coming here to deliver more hops and we barely have anything that's already built. So I think we're gonna need actually a lot more hop farms. Now, in terms of the beer production chain, you'll notice a grain farm produces every minute, breweries produce every minute. Hop farms though produce every 90 seconds. if you need your hops to keep up with your malt house, remember your malt house produces a malt every 30 seconds, and a hop farm is 3 times as slow, so it produces only every 90 seconds. So if we have 3 hop farms for every malt house, we'll be able to keep up with our beer supply. Now, we do have to ship all of our malt, of course, and it looks like we actually are running away, only delivering about 18 hops per. And just for the sake of being able to overproduce, because I know I'm going to need a ton of hops eventually, I just want to go ahead and just start building out even more of these. So let's go ahead, do a quick little extension. Bente! Oh my goodness. Bente now wants an official alliance. Fantastic. We are totally, finally coupled in a beautiful alliance. Having a maximum, almost 100% relationship. Hang on, can I flatter you again? Oh.
Fossil.
Old fossil? Okay, hang on. You know what? How about this? Give you a gift of money. She gave me money. Alonso likes that we're allies. Sure, buddy. Sure. But anyways, I want to just go ahead and start overproducing our hops really quickly. Of course, just getting a little bit of extra beauty work in here. Fantastic. Couple of nice shrub lines.
Ship under attack.
Oh, who's under attack? Hello. Fighting in the darkness. Yeah, these gunboats are doing a great job.
On our way.
Oh, I meant to sell these items. So I'll go up to Madame Quinina quickly. We'll search for daytime so I can see what's going on. And of course, don't want to forget to do my little bit of my parks for all of these great farmers. Even do some temperate groves on the inside of these parks, which will naturally have a little bit of variation and be completely random on each one. Amazing. Build a little bit of our apple orchard near the pub. Who are we shooting at? Oh, okay. Yeah. So you'll have a couple little bit of defenses on each of your harbors. It's enough to defend at least from these little pirate boats. I'll be able to build up the defenses here eventually. But in the meantime, let me sell these forged steel cells for 1950. A nice little injection of cash. And then I'm actually going to go ahead and start using Nerdy. I want to do some fog busting. If you hold down shift, you can actually set rally points and set a ship around to clear out the fog of war. Again, because it's really, really useful to do so, just to be able to make sure that you can see where all the pirates are and where your safe shipping lanes are. I'll even upgrade our warehouse here. And we have another newspaper. What we got here? Yes, there we are. Lake of Blissful Calm. Chance of wide-scale uprising is in delightfully harmonious nerdy town, as likely as winged chimps flying to the moon. Nice. Alliance of civilized nations. Everyone's happy that we are now paired together with Bente. And renovations boost city appeal, more happiness, more festivals, more free stuff. Fantastic. There we are. Beer is coming in. Oh my goodness, giving 11 gold per worker household. 1,500 gold per turn. This isn't Civ. $122,000. Looks like we even need more schnapps. But as we can see, okay, yeah, the Lithuanian is going to go ahead and pick up more schnapps quickly. Looks like we actually did deliver the maximum amount of bricks over to Ullitopia. So you can see we're actually on a full supply here. Now I'm going to do something, and actually I want to very quickly adjust this Ulli supplies to expand it to something that's going to be a little bit more appropriate. Even build another boat here for a second. But if we go ahead, drop these bricks back off. And I'll adjust this trade route to very specifically be Ullitopia's consumed goods. So we'll go ahead and remove the bricks from the supply, and instead we'll be delivering bread, since that will be the next material that we need to deliver. I'll make sure our bread does have a minimum. That way we'll start picking up bread and schnapps, which has to be produced at Nerdy Town, and deliver that to Ullitopia. Fantastic. That will allow us to upgrade a few more workers, getting us to a new milestone, the port town, which of course now requires bread, as well as a church. Ooh, where do we want this church at? Oh, with the waterfall in the background? Oh my goodness, yeah, that would be amazing. Hang on. The workers require a church. And now this church, I want to set with a nice, beautiful backdrop of this waterfall in the background of Ullitopia. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it right here. And that will even let us play around with a little bit of a decoration area in the back. So what I can do now is I can even plant behind the church a bunch of cherry trees. Just have a nice, pretty cherry orchard. And these trees will grow over time. They start small. And we'll have a little bit of grass behind it. We'll bid out our little church here. There we are. So we have a beautiful church in Ullitopia. A little bit of cherry trees in the back and a waterfall. Absolutely gorgeous. Look with the eagle even flying by. Holy cow. Dude, this game is so pretty. I am in love with it. That, of course, provides 7 happiness to all of our workers. And as soon as we get bread delivered, then we'll be able to have a fantastically happy worker population in Ullitopia. Let's look at our consumed goods. We're going to need a little bit more clothing to keep up with this supply.
What brings you here, Master?
So what I'll do is I'll put a little farmhouse, our sheep farm, do something a little bit different. Have a cute little... You know what, actually? I'll keep it like this, just because I can squeeze another little house in. Get a little bit more of a clothing. A little more clothing produced on this island as well, because our workers consume quite a bit of it. And then we could look at both of these islands. We are producing enough schnapps, enough fish, enough clothing, enough sausage. Not enough bread, though. So for our island to be able to provide enough bread for Ullitopia as well, I'll have to even build out the bread supply. And that means even more bakeries, which I think we're going to put down here. Down at the bottom of this here. The mill can stay up here, though, where this great cliffside is. And we'll build out even more wheat farmland. There we are. And we'll produce all of this. That way we'll have even some more bread coming online. Getting this entire area just to be a massive wheat, malt, beer, and bread supply. We'll even go ahead and make a couple more apple orchards, just because I love having these around. And there we are.
A competitor's island is under siege.
So between our 2 islands, now we'll have plenty of bread produced, beer produced, schnapps, fish, sausage, and fantastic. You see, Ullitopia even has some bread delivered, which means our workers are now consuming bread. They're consuming their schnapps, and they'll be fantastic. We're delivering our potatoes still at full capacity. We're delivering a little bit of soap. So we'll be able to build up our soap supply on Ullitopia as well. I can even go ahead and produce a police station with Ullitopia. Build out a little bit of a brick road system.
Means a lot to Arn.
Making sure all of these farmers are super happy. And so are all of our workers that can get access to the church. Fantastic, dude. And I think that's where we're going to leave it for now. Ullitopia's next goal will be to build up its worker supplies so that they can get even more soap as well as coal produced on this island to then sell over to Sir Archibald Blake as well as Eli Bleakworth. They might even be able to produce enough of this supply to actually outsource the original soap production away from Nerdy Town, just so that we can even increase the appeal even more by getting rid of this vulgarity and maybe a little bit of the pollution. But we'll come to that when we get to it. I want to have my power plants up here anyway. Pollution is not going to be 0 on Nerdy Town, but there will be something. Dude, this festival is still going on? Man, those are amazing. Does that mean I even have my cigars? Wow! 100 champagne, 89 cigars, 182 rum? I haven't even bought anything yet. That's amazing, dude. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm in love. I'm in love, dude. That's what we're gonna wrap up today's video. One last thing, of course, is happy birthday to Ulli. Great to have you around and very active in our community. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, let me know if you want to see more videos of Anno. There'll be more Civ 7 videos coming shortly, so subscribe so you don't miss those. Until next time, later, nerds.